All right, what's up guys? Austin here. Welcome to the video. I got some good news and I got some bad news. Well, actually it's just news. I don't know if it's good or bad, but definitely just got done reading this interesting book called Essentialism. And if you haven't read it, I think that this might make it onto my top 10 for best or most important books ever. So consider reading it if you haven't. There's kind of a lot of concepts in this book, but the premise is, and I guess this is kind of the bad news, is that we can't really get as much stuff done as we want to get done. And so this image here is inside of the book, and so you'll kind of see here that there's these two shapes. The one on the left, this represents somebody that does a lot of different tasks, right? So maybe they have like a ton of projects that they do at work. Maybe they have like a ton of side hustles that they're doing. And basically the idea here is that you're making progress, but you're making a very small amount of progress in all of these different things. However, the person over here, also known as the essentialist, I'll kind of break that down here in just a few minutes as well. But the essentialist here takes all of their energy and they focus it onto one thing. And this does kind of, this is kind of a nice side book to read when you're reading The One Thing by Gary Keller. I think that these books actually go hand in hand and make for a nice double read. If you're considering reading some books, I think those are good ones to do at the same time. But you can see here that with this focus of energy, which, you know, so basically each of these lines, everybody has the same amount of energy, right? But this person over here gets so much more progress because they focus it all onto one thing. And really the premise of the book is that this is how big things actually get done. So that's kind of the good news and it's kind of the bad news. And I'm still kind of analyzing it myself because I kind of find myself in this category pretty often as well, where I take on a lot of projects and then I overcommit to things and then I kind of have to back up on them. And it's just, you know, kind of gets annoying living like that after a while. And so let's just go into the next slide here. This is also from the book. So you can see here, this is the non-essentialist and then this is the essentialist. And really the idea here is that we're very focused. But anyways, the non-essentialist here thinks all things to all people. I have to. It's all important. How can I fit it all in? But the essentialist thinks less but better. So I choose to. Only a few things really matter. And then I think this is the key, one of the key points, which is what are the trade-offs, right? So what are the trade-offs? Because I can't do everything. I can only pick a couple of things to move forward with. You know, maybe a handful of things, but less, right? So but better. And then the next part is the undisciplined pursuit of more. So, you know, does and reacts to what's most pressing, right? So something comes in, you respond and take care of it right away. Says yes to people without really thinking it through, and then tries to force execution at the last moment. But the disciplined pursuit of less pauses to discern what really matters, says no to everything except for the essential, and removes obstacles to make execution easy. And then lives a life that does not satisfy. So takes on too much and work suffers, feels out of control, right? This is how I feel sometimes. Is unsure of whether the right things got done or not, right? And feels overwhelmed and exhausted, right? How frustrating. But the essentialist lives a life that really matters. So chooses carefully in order to get to do great work, feels in control, gets the right things done, and experiences the joy in the journey. And so these are kind of just a few takeaways. I know it's a little bit of a different video. I'm kind of just doing a screen share here, but kind of a video or a book that I'm literally still processing. And I think it's one that you should consider looking into, because in today's society, you know, we have so many things that we are offered to do. There's, you know, there's sports, there's friends, there's events, there's family get-togethers, there's work. You know, work has gotten more and more pressing. You know, there's more and more things to do. You know, bosses, they expect more and more out of you for, no increase in time to do it. You just got to fit it in, and people are wearing more hats than they ever have. And it's created a lot of stress in our day-to-day lives, and it's sad, and it's kind of hard to work through. And so if this is describing you, I just want to let you know, I find myself in the non-essentialist bucket a lot too. And I've really kind of found this reading as an eye-opening thing to work toward the essentialists. Just kind of, I don't know if you had read some of my stuff when I was talking about The One Place, or not The One Place, but The One Thing by Gary Keller. But if you're feeling kind of stressed out because this is describing you, I'm right there with you. And it's not something that we're going to get to overnight. Again, it's something that we're going to have to get to over time. But what we need to try our best to do, and I think kind of the one takeaway that I'll give you, and then I'll kind of wrap this video up. I could probably, there's a lot here to cover, but I think the one thing that you can start working on today, and I'm going to start working on for sure, is to really discern what you should take on and what you should say no. And even if saying no in the short term makes things uncomfortable, or people don't like it initially, or people get kind of upset or whatever, there are several case study type situations in the book where people stood up to people and they said no, politely, obviously, but they said no to people. And then what ended up happening is they were a little bit upset at the beginning, but then they had so much more respect for that person and for their time. And so saying no might be a little bit uncomfortable at first. I know I can have a hard time with saying no sometimes, but I think it's worth it for us to try to push the envelope and push back on things and not say yes to everything, because really life is short, and we want to spend our life with our family and our loved ones and doing some of the things that we like. Like, we don't want to just spend our life being controlled by other people because we're saying yes to too many people and too many things. So I think that I'm going to end it there, but I am going to come back to this image real quick because I love this. I saw it a long time ago, and I never knew where it came from, or I never knew where it originated. I think it originated from this book. I mean, it's in here. So, but yeah, I came across this a long time ago. I was like, wow, that's a really cool concept, because it's kind of describes me a lot of times, unfortunately. But anyways, guys, I hope you're doing well. Check out this book. It's called It's called Essentialism, and it's by Greg McKeown. So anyways, guys, hope you're having a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.